2020 జేఈఈ మెయిన్ ఫలితాలలో ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ విద్యార్థుల ప్రభంజనం. ఆల్ ఇండియా అన్ని కేటగిరీస్లు 18, 35, 251, 253, 582, 606, 778, 780, 812, 821, 1031, 1049, 1303, 1575, 1654, 1753, 1754, 1978 ర్యాంకులే కాక మరెన్నో ఉత్తమ ఫలితాలు సాధించిన విద్యా సంస్థ ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్. ఈ ఫలితాలు సాధించడానికి కారణమైన లెక్చరర్లు మరియు తల్లిదండ్రులకు మా కృతజ్ఞతలు. ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషనల్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్స్.
Right, chemical, let us continue with applications of Le-Chartier principle on chemical equilibrium. So, let us consider this reaction N2 gas plus 3H2 gas equilibrium. Delta H is negative. Say some 92 kilojoules per mole. Right. So let us consider this reaction Haber's process. Nitrogen combines with hydrogen to form ammonia. As you can see, delta H is negative. That means forward reaction is exothermic. If forward is exothermic, then backward reaction must be endothermic. And nitrogen is a gas, hydrogen is a gas, ammonia is also gas. So let us study favorable conditions for formation of ammonia. So what do you mean by formation of ammonia? That means equilibrium shifts in forward direction. That means that is for forward direction. So favorable condition for formation of ammonia. Right. Let us see with respect to temperature. As you can see, we require the equilibrium to shift in forward. When it moves in forward, it releases heat energy. Because of this heat energy, temperature of the system increases. So what temperature I have to provide? The system has to increase the temperature. What temperature I have to produce? I have to decrease the temperature. I have to try to decrease the temperature. If I decrease the temperature, it will try to increase by shifting the equilibrium in such a direction which releases the heat. If it releases the heat, temperature of the system increases. So what temperature I have to maintain? I have to decrease the temperature. So that is first one. Low temperature should be maintained. I have to decrease the temperature. I have to maintain low temperature. If I maintain low temperature, it will try to increase. Next, with respect to number of moles of, with respect to pressure, on backward direction you have 1 plus 3, 4 moles of gas. On forward direction you have 2 moles of gas. So if it moves in forward, you have less number of moles of gas. If it produces less number of moles, that means it is trying to decrease the pressure. When it will try to decrease the pressure, if I maintain high pressure, since I require ammonia, that means it has to produce less number of moles of gases, right? It has to decrease the pressure. That means I have to maintain high pressure. I have to increase the pressure. So high pressure is required. If I increase the pressure, it will try to decrease the pressure by producing less number of moles. You have less number of moles on product side, we require ammonia, that is product side. So it will move in forward if I increase the pressure. Coming to concentration, it has to move in forward direction. When it will move, if I increase the concentration of, increase in concentration or addition of nitrogen or hydrogen, or What is the other way? Decrease. Decrease the concentration of ammonia. Decrease in concentration or removal of ammonia. If I remove this, then the also equilibrium moves in forward direction. So let us see the next one, that is favorable conditions for backward reaction. For backward reaction, the reaction has to move in backward direction. If it moves, see, since forward is exothermic, the backward must be endothermic. Endothermic reaction proceeds with absorption of heat. So it will try to decrease the temperature. To decrease the temperature, we have to increase the temperature. That means if I maintain high temperature, the system will try to decrease the temperature. So high temperature must be maintained for the reaction to proceed in backward. If I increase the temperature, it will try to decrease. How? By proceeding in a direction which proceeds with absorption of heat. Which reaction proceeds with absorption of heat? Endothermic reaction. So where you have endothermic reaction direction, that is nothing but backward. So we have fixed the direction, therefore high temperature should be maintained. When it moves in backward direction, it produces 4 moles of gas. On the product side, you have 2 moles. That means it is producing more number of moles, gaseous moles. That means it has to increase the pressure. When it will increase the pressure, if I decrease the pressure, if I decrease the pressure, it will try to increase the pressure by shifting the equilibrium in such a direction which produces more number of moles. So I require backward, right? I have to maintain low pressure. Coming to the concentration, increase in concentration of products, increase in concentration or addition of ammonia, or what is the other way? Decrease in concentration or removal of N2 or H2 or both. So this is one example. So next reaction, decomposition of HI. HI decomposes to give H2 plus I2, delta H is plus 52 kilojoules. As you can see, delta H is positive, that means forward reaction is endothermic. If forward is endothermic, backward reaction must be exothermic. Now let us see the favorable conditions. Favorable conditions for forward and backward reactions. So favorable conditions for forward reaction. What do you mean by forward reaction? Decomposition of HI. Decomposition of HI. Let us see one by one. First, with respect to temperature. As you can see, we require endothermic reaction. Endothermic reaction is favored with increase in temperature. So we have to increase the temperature. Once again, if I increase the temperature, the system will try to decrease the temperature. How? It will shift the equilibrium in a direction which proceeds with absorption of energy. So the reaction which proceeds with absorption of energy is nothing but endothermic reaction. So here endothermic is nothing but forward. So what I have to do? I have to increase the temperature. That means I have to maintain high temperature. I have to maintain high temperature. Second one, effect of pressure. On the product side, you have 2 moles of gas. On the reactant side, you have 1 mole of H2, 1 mole of I2. That is nothing but 2 moles of gas. So on both sides, you have same number of moles of gas. If you increase or decrease the pressure, the equilibrium position will not change because the number of moles of gas on left hand side and right hand side are same. So whether it moves in forward or backward, number of moles of gas remains same, therefore the pressure of system remains constant. Hence the pressure has no effect. Pressure has no effect on equilibrium because the number of moles of gas do not change. Right, coming to next, concentration. Now as you can see, the reaction has to move in forward. When it moves in forward, increase or addition of HI, or you can say that removal of products, removal of H2 and I2 or both. So coming to the next one, that is favorable conditions for backward reaction, that is formation of HI. Favorable condition for backward reaction, that is formation of HI. So that means the reaction has to move in backward. So if forward is endo, backward must be exo. So we require an exothermic reaction. Exothermic reaction is favored with a decrease in temperature. Therefore we have to maintain low temperature. Next, as I said, the number of moles of gaseous reactants and products are same. So pressure has no effect. So next, with respect to concentration, addition of products or removal of reactants will shift the equilibrium in backward direction. So this is about some examples for chemical equilibrium. So let us do some problems. Right. See the first one. If delta N, right, equal to Np minus Nr, number of moles of products minus number of moles of reactants, is the change in number of moles of gaseous substance. So that is why Np gas minus Nr gas during reaction. Then equilibrium constant Kc and Kp are related as. So you have to find the relation between Kp, Kc if delta N represents change in the number of moles of gaseous substance. So for a hypothetical equation, what is the relation? Kp equal to Kc RT power delta N. Simple one. Kp equal to Kc RT power delta N. We have already studied the derivation also. Right. So which equation matches? So here this one, see here Kc equal to Kp RT power delta N equal to Kp RT power minus delta N. So your answer is B. Next, coming to the next one, the ratio of Kp by Kc for this reaction. So see the given reaction. CO is gas, half O2 gas, CO2 gas. Or let us write once again. CO gas plus half O2 gas, equilibrium CO2 gas. So find the number of moles of gaseous reactants. How many gases? Gas, all are gases. Check whether it is balanced or not. One carbon, half O2. So if it is half O2, yes, you will get CO, right. Here you have one oxygen, half O2, one oxygen, 1 plus 1, 2 oxygen. So balanced. Number of moles of gaseous reactants. How many moles? Nothing is written. If nothing is written means you have to consider it as 1. So 1 CO plus half O2, therefore half. So 1 plus 1 by 2 is 3 by 2. Number of moles of gaseous products. Only gases is there, nothing is there, that means 1. So delta N equal to NP gas, number of moles of gaseous products minus number of moles of gaseous reactants, that is 1 minus 3 by 2, which is equal to minus 1 by 2. So what is the relation? Kp equal to Kc RT power delta N. We have to find the ratio. Kp by Kc equal to RT power delta N. So what is delta N? Minus half. So RT power minus half. So option D is correct. Which of the following reaction Kp is less than Kc? So what is the relation? Kp equal to Kc RT power delta N. So Kp should be less than Kc. That means if delta N is less than 0 or negative, that is Np gas less than Nr gas, then Kp will be less than Kc. That means you should have more number of gaseous reactants than gaseous products. Then Kp will be less than Kc. So let us find how many gaseous products you have in the first option. 2 plus 1 3. 2 plus 1 3. How many gaseous reactants you have? Only 2. So here delta N is greater than 0. 3 minus 2 is 1. So delta N greater than 0. If delta N is greater than 0, then Kp will be greater than Kc. Coming to the next one. Number of moles of gaseous reactants. 1 mole of nitrogen, 3 moles of hydrogen, so you will get 4. Number of moles of gaseous products, 2. So delta N is 2 minus 4 minus 2. Delta N less than 0, therefore Kp is less than Kc. For this reaction, Kp will be less than Kc. Coming to the next one. Number of moles of gaseous reactants, only one PCl5, all are gases, first point. How many gaseous products? 1 PCl3, 1 Cl2, 1 plus 1 equal to 2. So delta N is 2 minus 1 equal to 1. So delta N greater than 0, that is Kp greater than Kc. Coming to the last one, here number of moles of gaseous reactants, 1 plus 1, that is 2. Number of moles of gaseous products, that is also 2. So delta N is 0. So Kp will be equal to Kc. So we require Kp less than Kc. So Kp is less than Kc is for option 2. For a homogeneous chemical reaction, Kp equal to Kc. So Kp equal to Kc RT power delta N. So Kp will be equal to Kc if delta N equals to 0. Anything to the power 0 is 1. So your answer is A. So Degree of dissociation. So what is the meaning of degree of dissociation? When you take a reactant, some of the reactants are converted into product. The number of moles dissociated or reacted to that of initial moles of reactants taken, we call it as degree of dissociation. So it is expressed in percentage, we call it as percentage degree of dissociation, generally represented with the letter alpha. So percentage alpha is number of moles dissociated or reacted, to that of initial moles taken, since it is expressed in percentage, multiplying with 100. So let us see some examples. Suppose if alpha is given as 10%, what is the meaning of that? Its a degree of dissociation is 10%. What is the meaning of that? Suppose if I take 100 moles initially, out of these 100 moles, 10 moles of the substance is decomposed or dissociated. Once again, if I take 100 moles, 10 moles are dissociated. That means for every 100 moles, 10 moles are dissociated. But it is not necessary that you always take 100. You may take only 1 mole. So for this, 10% of 1 is nothing but 0.1. For every 100, 10 moles. For 1, how much? That is nothing but 1 into 10 by 100, you will get 0.1. Or if I take 2 moles, initial moles are 2, then what is the degree of dissociation for 10%? For every 100 moles, 10 moles are dissociated. For 2 moles, how much? 2 into 10 by 100, that is nothing but 0.2. So this is nothing but number of moles reacted. Or you can take 200 initial moles. Then how much? So 10% means for every 100 molecules, 10 molecules are dissociated. For every 100 moles, 10 moles are dissociated. For 200, how much? 200 into 10 by 100, that is nothing but 20. So this indicates, all this indicates number of moles reacted when you take respective number of initial moles. Or let us take one more example. If alpha is 20%, that means degree of dissociation is 20%. So what is the meaning of that? If I take 100 moles initially, then 20 moles are dissociated. That means for every 100 moles, 20 moles are reacted. So number of moles reacted is 20 if you take 100 moles. But it is not necessary that you have to take 100 moles. I can take only 1 mole. If I take 1 mole, what is the number of moles reacted? So for every 100, 20. For 1, how much? 1 into 20 by 100. 1 into 20 by 100 is nothing but 0.2. 1 into 20 by 100 is nothing but 0.2 moles are reacted. So number of moles dissociated 0.2, initial moles 1. 0.2 by 1 into 100 is nothing but 20. Or you can take 2 moles. Initial moles can be 2. For every 100, 20 moles are dissociated. For 2 moles, how much? 2 into 20 by 100. That is 40 by 100, you will get 0.4. So its degree of dissociation is 20%. How? 0.4 moles are dissociated, initial moles 2. 0.4 by 2 into 100. 0.4 into 100 is 40, 40 by 2 is 20. So you will get 20%. Or you can take 200 moles. How much? For every 100, 20 moles are dissociated. For 200, how much? So this is nothing but 200 into 20 by 100, that is 2 into 20, you will get 40. So this is the meaning of degree of dissociation. So we use this degree of dissociation in calculation of Kp/Kc. Calculation of degree of dissociation calculation of Kp, Kc in terms of degree of dissociation. Right. So let us take some first examples for homogeneous equilibrium. First, for homogeneous equilibrium, I am taking some equation. PCl5 gas in equilibrium with this is the equation. First you have to check whether it is balanced or not. It is balanced. So 1 phosphorus, 5 chlorine atoms, 3 plus 2, 5 chlorine atoms. First you have to write stoichiometric mole ratio. Stoichiometric mole ratio. So what is the meaning of this? When I take 1 mole of PCl5, if it dissociates completely, if it undergoes complete dissociation, when 1 mole of PCl5 dissociates completely, you will get 1 mole of PCl3 and 1 mole of Cl2. I repeat, when 1 mole of PCl5 dissociates completely, you will get 1 mole of PCl3 and 1 mole of Cl2. Next you have to write initial moles. This will be given in the problem, right? It will be provided. So if nothing is given, we can take 1 mole. I am taking initially 1 mole in a container. Say like this, in a container I have taken 1 mole of PCl5 and started heating. So what happens? Initially the number of moles of products will be 0. So no PCl3, no Cl2, because the dissociation is not started. So number of moles reacted. Let us assume that out of 1 mole X moles are dissociated. X moles are dissociated. So they are not formed yet, so they will not react. After X moles are reacted, out of 1 mole of PCl5, after X moles are dissociated, let us assume the system has attained equilibrium. Let us assume the system has attained equilibrium. So moles at equilibrium. Moles at equilibrium. Out of 1 mole, X moles are dissociated, left over will be 1 minus X moles. For 1 mole on complete dissociation, you get 1 mole. Actually, how many moles are reacted? X moles. If you get for 1 mole from 1 mole, for X moles you will get X. You get X moles of PCl3, X moles of Cl2. Remember, this is at equilibrium, so the number of moles will not undergo any change. They remain constant. Next, you have to find total moles at equilibrium. While calculating total moles, consider the moles of only gases. Consider the moles of only gases. Why? We use these total moles to calculate partial pressure. Partial pressure is for gas. Partial pressure of a gas equal to mole fraction into total pressure. So we use these total moles to calculate mole fraction of a gas. So that is why we have to consider only gases. As you can see, PCl5 is gas, PCl3 is gas, Cl2 is gas, all are gases. But remember, while calculating total moles, we have to consider only gases, because we are going to use this total moles to calculate mole fraction. Mole fraction is used to find partial pressures of gases. Therefore, you have to consider only gases. How many moles of PCl5 are present at equilibrium? 1 minus X, plus how many moles of PCl3? X at equilibrium. How many moles of Cl2? X. So what I will get? 1 plus X. Total moles of gaseous components are 1 plus X. Then find concentration at equilibrium. Concentration at equilibrium. What is concentration? Equilibrium number of moles by volume. So let us assume the volume of the container as V liters. Let us assume the volume of the container as V. It will be given in the problem, or you have to consider it as 1 liter. So let us assume here it as V liters. So concentration at equilibrium, that is nothing but number of moles at equilibrium by volume. Volume will anyway remain constant. Concentration at equilibrium is nothing but number of moles by at equilibrium by volume. How many moles of PCl5 are present at equilibrium? Moles at equilibrium 1 minus x. So number of moles by volume, this is the concentration of PCl5 at equilibrium. Similarly for PCl3, number of moles at equilibrium is x. Number of moles at equilibrium is x. X by, let us assume volume as V. Therefore, number of moles at equilibrium by volume is concentration at equilibrium. Similarly, here also the same thing, x by V. Next, find mole fraction at equilibrium. Mole fraction at equilibrium is nothing but number of moles of that component at equilibrium by total moles at equilibrium. How many moles of PCl5 are there at equilibrium? 1 minus x by total moles at equilibrium 1 plus x. So we are using this to find mole fraction, which is used to find partial pressures. So to consider only gases, total moles of gases at equilibrium. Similarly for this, number of moles at equilibrium x, total moles 1 plus x, x by 1 plus x. Then find partial pressure at equilibrium. What is partial pressure of a gas? Total pressure into mole fraction. Let us assume the total pressure of the system as P at equilibrium. Total pressure of the system at equilibrium is assumed to be, I am taking it as P. So, Dalton's law, partial pressure of PCl5 at equilibrium is nothing but mole fraction at equilibrium, mole fraction of the gas into total pressure. What is the total pressure? I am assuming it as P at equilibrium. Similarly here, partial pressure of PCl3 at equilibrium is nothing but mole fraction into total pressure. Partial pressure of Cl2, mole fraction into total pressure. Then find Kc and Kp. So what is Kc? Kc equal to equilibrium concentration of PCl3 into Cl2 by equilibrium concentration of PCl5. What is the equilibrium concentration of PCl3? X by V into X by V by 1 minus X by V. So V cancel out. So what I will get is X square by V into 1 minus X. Next, Kp, partial pressure of PCl3, partial pressure of Cl2, partial pressure of PCl5 at equilibrium. What is the partial pressures? You can see here, substituting the values, x by 1 plus x into P, x by 1 plus x into P by 1 minus x plus 1 plus x into P. So where Kc is equilibrium constant in terms of concentration, Kp equilibrium constant in terms of partial pressure. V is volume of the container, P is total pressure of the system at equilibrium, P is total pressure of the system at equilibrium. X is number of moles reacted, or you can say degree of dissociation. So once you know X value, P value, V value, you can find Kc and Kp. So this is one equation, right? Let us see another equation. Let us take this equation, H2 plus I2 equilibrium to Hi. Stoichiometric mole ratio, first you have to check whether it is balanced or not, then you can write the stoichiometric coefficient ratio. 2 hydrogen atoms, 2 hydrogen atoms, 2 iodines, 2 iodines, so it is balanced. So 1 mole, we have 1 mole of H2 reacts with 1 mole of I2. When they combine in 1:1, you will get 2 moles of HI. Initial moles, this will be given in problem. Let us assume A moles of H2 reacts with B moles. They are present in 2 different moles, nothing will happen. So initially the moles of HI is not present because the reaction is not yet started. Let us assume that, remember, they will react in 1:1 ratio. They will react in 1:1 ratio. Right. So number of moles reacted. Let us assume X moles of H2 is reacting. Out of A moles, X moles of H2 is reacted. 1 mole of H2 will combine with 1 mole of I2. Therefore, if X moles of hydrogen is reacting, then X moles of iodine has to react. So this is not reacting because it is not present. So let us assume it as H. So after X moles of H2 and I2 are reacted, let us assume the system has attained equilibrium. At equilibrium, their concentration number of moles remains constant. So moles at equilibrium, out of A moles, X moles are reacted, how much will be left over? A minus X. Out of B moles, X moles are reacted, therefore how much will be left? B minus X. When 1 mole combines with 1 mole, 1 mole of H2 combines with 1 mole of I2, you will get 2 moles of HI. Actually, how many moles are reacting? X moles of H2 combines with X moles of I2. Therefore, you have to get how many moles? 2x. For 1 mole, you will get 2. For X moles, you will get 2x. So, all our gases add total moles at equilibrium. A minus X plus B minus X plus 2x. All are gases. So, I am considering all the moles. So, what I will get? Simply A plus B. Concentration at equilibrium, assuming the volume of the system in which this reaction is carried out is V. The number of moles at equilibrium by volume. How many moles I have? A minus X moles at equilibrium by volume will give concentration at equilibrium. Here B minus X by volume of the system at equilibrium. Here 2x by V. Mole fraction. So mole fraction is number of moles to that of total number of moles at equilibrium. How many moles of H2 are present? A minus X by total moles, that is A plus B. So this will be the mole fraction of H2. How many moles of I2? B minus X by A plus B. 2x by A plus B. Then find partial pressures at equilibrium, assuming the total pressure at equilibrium as P, total pressure at equilibrium as P. Therefore, A minus X by A plus B into P, B minus mole fraction into total pressure, mole fraction at equilibrium into total pressure at equilibrium. So, finding Kc Kp equation, Kc equal to Hi square by H2 into I2. So Hi, concentration of Hi, 2x by V, volume of the system whole square by A minus X in by V, B minus X by V. So you will get 4x square by A minus X into B minus X. Kp, partial pressure of Hi, partial pressure of H2, partial pressure of I2. So substitute the partial pressures at equilibrium. 2x by A plus B whole square into P square so P square will be cancelled. So here Kp equal to Kc because delta N is 0. Now small a small b are initial moles of H2 and I2, initial moles of H2 and I2. X, you can say number of moles reacted of H2 or number of moles reacted in I2 because they react in 1:1 ratio, right. If this is 100, it becomes degree of dissociation. P is total pressure of the system at equilibrium, V is volume of the container in which the reaction is carried out. Let us do some heterogeneous equilibrium. Heterogeneous equilibrium. I will take a simple equation first. CaCO3 solid equilibrium. CaO solid plus CO2 gas. Remember, this is solid, CO2 is gas. So stoichiometric mole ratio, this is 1 mole. If it decomposes completely, you will get 1 mole of CaO and 1 mole of CO2. Initial moles. So let us assume 1 mole or A moles, that is up to you. Products generally they will be 0 until unless it is given in the problem, you have to consider them as 0. If they give some x moles are there, then you have to write 0 plus x, 0 plus y, like that. So until unless it is not given that some x moles or y moles of products are there, you should consider them as 0. So number of moles reacted, let us assume same x moles. They are not present, so they do not react. After x moles are reacted, let us assume the system has attained equilibrium. So moles at equilibrium, this is solid. The concentration of solids are assumed to remain constant. So no need to find the concentration of solids. No need to find the concentration of solids because solid surface area is less. The mass that reacts is very less compared to the total mass or the mass you have taken. So we assume the concentration of solids to remain constant. What is the concentration of CO2? So out of 1 mole you will get 1 mole. If x moles are reacted, you will get x moles. So you will get x moles. Total moles at equilibrium. Total moles of gases at equilibrium. Right? This is not gas, this is not gas, this is only gas. So only x. Because we used to find partial pressure. Pressure is measurable only for gases. So total gaseous moles at equilibrium. Concentration, as I said, don't worry about concentration of solids. So it becomes x by V. Mole fraction of solids we don't require. So this is x by x, there is only one gas. Partial pressure of solids negligible. So this becomes total pressure into 1, that is nothing but P. So here Kc equal to concentration of CO2, that is x by V. Kp equal to partial pressure of CO2, which is equal to total pressure. Right. If their concentrations are given, then you can write normally. But in general, we neglect the concentration of solids. Let us take one more example. So ammonium chloride solid in equilibrium with ammonia gas and HCl gas. So it is balanced, 1 mole, 1 mole, 1 mole. As I said, initial moles will be provided in the problem. Let us assume 1 mole here. So these two will be 0, 0, 0 and 0. So number of moles reacted, as I said, let us assume x. So moles at equilibrium solid, you can neglect. Moles of ammonia at equilibrium, for 1 mole you will get 1 mole, x moles are reacted. So you can write x moles, x moles. Remember, if you do not alter the concentrations, then they are always present in 1:1 ratio. Total moles of gases at equilibrium, you have x moles of ammonia plus x moles of HCl, you will get 2x. Concentration of solids negligible, mole fraction, partial pressure of solid is negligible. Concentration of ammonia, x by V, where V is volume of the system, this is x by V, volume of the system, V is volume of the system. Mole fraction, number of moles at equilibrium by total moles, number of moles at equilibrium by total moles. Partial pressure, let us assume P as total pressure at equilibrium. So this is P by 2, because 1 by 2 you will get, this is also P by 2. So if I write Kc equation, concentration of ammonia into concentration of HCl is x by V into x by V. P square by 4, where P is total pressure at equilibrium. P is total pressure at equilibrium. So let us do one more. So this is one interesting example. N2O4 gas equilibrium 2NO2 gas. So 1:2 stoichiometric ratio. When 1 mole of N2O4 gas dissociates completely, you will get 2 moles of NO2. Initial moles, again let us assume 1, this is 0. Number of moles reacted, let us take alpha, 0. After alpha moles are dissociated, let us assume the system has attained equilibrium. So both are gases, moles at equilibrium. Out of 1 mole, alpha moles are reacted, left over will be 1 minus alpha. When 1 mole dissociates completely, you will get 2 moles, double. So alpha moles are dissociated, you will get 2 alpha at equilibrium. 2 alpha moles at equilibrium. Total moles of gases at equilibrium, both are gases. So 1 minus alpha plus 2 alpha will be equal to 1 plus alpha. So where alpha is number of moles reacted, number of moles of N2O4 dissociated out of 1 mole. Concentration at equilibrium, again assume volume of the system as V, then this is 1 minus alpha by V, now this is 2 alpha by V. Mole fractions at equilibrium, number of moles at equilibrium, that is 1 minus alpha by total number of moles, 1 plus alpha at equilibrium, 1 minus alpha plus 1 plus alpha, 2 alpha by 1 plus alpha at equilibrium. Partial pressures, let us assume the total pressure at equilibrium as P, 1 minus alpha into 1 plus alpha, mole fraction into total pressure. Partial pressure of a gas is equal to mole fraction of the gas into total pressure of the gas at equilibrium. Same, mole fraction of the gas into total pressure of the system at equilibrium. So from this, what is Kp equal to? Kp equal to partial pressure of NO2 square by partial pressure of N2O4 at equilibrium. So substitute the values now. 2 alpha by 1 plus alpha whole square into P square by 1 minus alpha plus 1 plus alpha into P. So this is equal to 4 alpha square by, okay, you will get P here, 1 plus alpha will be cancelled, 1 minus alpha square you will get. So this is the equation, you can further simplify this. Kp into 1 minus alpha square equal to 4 alpha square into P. Kp equal to 4P plus Kp. Alpha equal to square root of Kp by Kp plus 4P, where P is total pressure of the system at equilibrium. Alpha is degree of dissociation.
ఇంటర్మీడియట్ విద్యారంగంలో అగ్రగామి మన ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్. ఐఐటి, జేఈఈ అయినా, నీట్ అయినా తిరుగులేని విద్యా సంస్థ ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్.